Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week where two old guys talk about old games. Mm-hmm. Should I go ahead? Should I reveal it? Should we talk? Normally, I would talk about it a little bit and then go into stories, but I feel like should I tell stories first and lead the build-up? I mean, I'm sure they saw the episode title when they click on it,
right?
So they'll know what's coming, but at the same time, like...
What's the big reveal, right?
Yeah.
It's the big reveal. It's where we explain to everybody what our next big list is.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's tell stories first then, before we go into it. I'm your bearded host, Tyler. Mm-hmm. And last week, for Catherine, I sort of broke through sort of a threshold and told not really a super humorous story, but something close to my heart, something sad. Yeah. So it just kept me thinking about other stuff. Like, it's good, it's cathartic to sort of talk and vent and you know let those things loose, especially in the TADPOG Nation.
This is also my therapy, Tyler.
Yeah. That's really why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So I made sure I cleared it with Jacob first because he's just as important to this story as I am. It's something that involves both of us, and I mean I can't really tell it without telling a lot about him because it's personal. I haven't really alluded to it at all really during the last 3 years, but okay, Jacob of Wolf Fighting fame, and we had a problem with drugs back in the day.
You guys had a baby together?
We had a baby together. We gave it up. We don't know where he is. We gave him half of a heart amulet. We have the other half. That way, when he finds us, we'll know that we're...
Yeah. There's a gram inside of that pendant.
No, I was the one who was introduced to it first, and I then brought him on board, although in the end, he really saved me from getting out of it and getting our lives back together. But I guess it was part of it was the time period, because I mean it's the mid 80s and everybody's doing it, but Jacob and I, we were pretty addicted to cocaine back in the day.
Yeah, I didn't know you then.
No, I mean, I didn't hang out with a lot of people then. It was a strange period in my life. I mean, I don't really know why I reached out to Jacob and wanted to do this with Jacob, but I mean, it was just...
He seems like the type.
It was in vogue. Yeah, I mean, we both have addictive personalities. It's just we're always just sitting there right there anyway. But we ended up, we were in, I had gone to a club and had a friend sort of tell me about it, and I don't know what that was. my phone's doing weird things for no reason at all. Got me into it, and it's just such a rush. It gives you. Yeah. I feel like now that I'm older, I'm always tired, and I can still think back on those days when it's just like you're just youthful and just even more energy on top of it. It was crazy. It was a fun time, and listen to music and dance and just do blow, and it was amazing. And of course, I brought Jacob on and had a show with Jacob, and we got really into following around Huey Lewis on the news. So that's kind of what we did back then.
That explains so much.
So
I can't believe you never told me this.
It's hard for me to really tell anybody about. I don't like talking about it because it's personal and it's sad because that's just it's a different person than I am.
No, I don't think it's sad at all. I think it's extremely interesting.
No, but we were in the worst of it that we'd ever had. We had followed Huey Lewis in the news to Des Moines, Iowa, and he was playing a venue there,
the capital of Huey Lewis in the news.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was 1983, and I mean, Des Moines was where it was out for a lot of different things. So we ended up
before Des Moines became airborne.
Yeah, I mean, the economy, and I mean, there's whole different things why it's like the fall. I mean, before Detroit fell, because it was, back in the day, like that was same with Des Moines, and then now it's
Des Moines,
basically,
of course, had their own RoboCop as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
No one remembers that one.
No, but Republican agendas. I don't even want to go into that right now. But so we're in a club in Des Moines, and we do we do too much at this point, and we're kind of losing it. And Huey does his set, and it's fantastic. Everybody's into it. And then once he packs up and leaves, we hear about an after party, and we go to the after party. It's in this warehouse way downtown. But it had been abandoned but repurposed into a club of all different sorts of things that people could get up to at night. It was disguised on the outside to look like a rundown building, but once you went on the inside, they built like different kind of floors inside, and there were just
no one questioned the 4-year-olds.
I feel like it was before the internet, so
right.
People could like tweet like, "Hey, we're at this place." You just had to know about it.
Okay,
so we're there, and we've done way too much, and we go back, and the far back people they're betting. So like Jacob and I are like, well, man, we don't have a lot of money. We bought way too much Coke, and we don't really have a way home. He was like, the best thing we can do right now is just throw our money down and just fucking throw our fates in the wind and just see what happens. I'm like, okay. And we go out there, and what they're doing is they're dog fighting.
Like they're fighting dogs?
Well, it's dogs fighting.
Dogs
like
fighting
they're
dogs.
betting.
Okay.
They're betting.
Okay.
So we watch that. I mean, it's gruesome. It's still an awful sport. I don't condone it, but I mean, we had to get our money back and get home.
But you called it a sport, so.
Well, I guess it was a sport back then. It wasn't really as looked down. Like PETA wasn't doing anything against it back then.
Pokemon wasn't a thing yet.
It wasn't a thing.
People had to fight animals somehow.
I mean, I feel like Pokemon just kind of stole everything from dog fighting.
They just took the glory.
They really did, because that's all Pokemon is. But we throw down our money, and we just choose whatever dog we think looks the cutest.
You didn't go by names or?
We didn't want to know. We just want to know based on purely on cuteness. So we make like $5,000 just betting on
the cutest?
on cute dogs. I know it's fucking. It doesn't make any sense, but we were coked out of our fucking minds.
Yeah. You'd think you would want to bet on the ugliest dog. That's the way I would go. Ugly dog.
See, I guess maybe the logic was like the ugliest dog is like been through the most. He's probably tired.
So many fights.
A cute dog is like fresh and ready to go.
Yeah.
So you got to bet on the cute ones.
Did you notice that they pitted cute dogs against ugly dogs more often?
More often than not.
Yeah.
So we felt like we'd broken the code a little bit. Like no one else was seeing what we were seeing. Maybe it was all the Coke. I don't know. Like we were on next level. Like
you moneyballed dogfighting.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did. We used sabermetrics and moneyball dogfighting. And Jacob's like, they do the next. They're gonna the big production is like the next fight. They're talking about how great it's gonna be.
He okayed this. Are you sure?
I think he thought it was time too that we could we've talked about everything else. We're running out of stories, so we may as well talk about this.
So we're not going to get a call in the morning saying, "Oh, guys, I listened to the intro."
Probably not. Okay. Probably not. Okay. But they build up the next fight, and so I'm feeling good. So I'm like, let's just go double or nothing on this next fight. So he's like, Jacobs don't know because I mean we're up $5,000 at this point.
You got enough to go home.
We can get more Coke and we can make it home, and we're golden. But I don't know. We were both riding it high, and he eventually like, all right, let's do it. So what they do at that point is they bring out wolves. So this is really where this thing started with Jacob and fighting wolves.
This is the origin story.
This is what happens. So they bring out these wolves, and I guess they're siblings. They look exactly the same.
Two identical twin wolves?
Two identical twin wolves. So, and they're both cute. So, like, our system is, like, broken at this point.
Okay.
We don't know what to do.
I've got a serious question for you. Since wolves have litters and dogs have litters, this is real talk.
Yeah. I think this is all real talk, Dave. This is, like, the realest I've ever been.
No. This is the realest I've ever been because I don't know the answer to this question.
Okay.
I don't know enough about genetics. Are all dog brothers twins? Like, how does that work? Like, they come out at the same time. Like, what, like...
I don't know if it's... Well, I mean, like... My cats were born at the same time, the same litter, and they look nothing alike.
But are they twins?
I mean, I guess they have. I mean, they have to be, don't they?
I don't know. I mean, they came out at the same time.
I guess because they're identical twins, and there are the other kind of twins that they're twins that don't look alike. I forget
Right.
what the term is for it.
I'm not even going to try. One's like paternal, one's maternal, right?
Yeah, like it's paternal twins.
So I don't know. Okay.
So but these were identical twin dogs.
Okay. So these. Okay, I got you. I'm following you.
Maybe we were suckered in at that point. I don't know. They busted our system. Jacob and I kind of start to panic, and
Yeah, because you can't.
our
choose
system
a
is
cute
gone.
one.
We don't know what to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So, but they've taken our money and they let the wolves go, and the wolves start fighting. And Jacob and I are panicking. We don't know what to do. Then Jacob gets the crazy idea about, well, I could just jump in there. I bet I could take both of them. I was like, oh, Jacob, those are tough dogs.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
those aren't just dogs. Those are wolves. It's different. They're wolves. And he's like, man, I don't know. I went over there and I just bench pressed 350 over there because they had a workout station on the other side. I was like,
Yeah.
well, okay, you are. I mean, you're feeling the coke. I feel like maybe you can. So he talks about going out and betting on himself secretly and then jumping in and trying to finish the fight.
Okay.
So we don't have any money at this point. Like we don't have zero money to go and just try to change this bet. So while we're sitting there discussing this, we hear sort of a cane tapping, and like we turn around and behind us,
Dick Van Dyke.
honest to God, close, Gene Wilder.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Gene Wilder, and he's wearing
Well,
his
God, he is a notorious, or he was a notorious dogfight fan.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and because he's in full Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory garb. Like it's amazing, but
His full AF
his
gear.
yeah, and he's got. I mean, you could tell he had a mustache at this point. Like he looks a little haggard, but you can tell it looked like he'd been eating a lot of powdered donuts because it was just like white all over his mustache. And he is behind this idea. He
so he wants
heard
to
us
support.
talking, and he said he would throw in for us.
He just wanted to see a young boy fight a wolf. I think,
Probably
or two wolves at the same
He was
time.
impressed. Jacob, man, Jacob was svelte back then.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was nice back then. So I mean, maybe he's sexually interested in Jacob and wants to see him
Maybe.
rough up these wolves or get roughed up and save him. I don't know, but he gives us 10 grand and says, "Bet on the pretty boy." It's like, okay, and we make the bet. Like we have to argue a little bit with the guy because the wolves are going at it and to change it at this last moment. No one else's bet, but I mean, 10 grand. That's still more than we already had the biggest bet anyway with the 5 grand. So now we're upping our bet and I think they just take everything from us. But they agree, and we don't want like them to be able to sling Jacob around by his clothes. So we strip Jacob off naked. We grease him up so he can just jump right in with the wolves. And Gene and I grease up Jacob, and he jumps into the wolf pit. But then the wolves kill each other as he comes in. Like the fight ends.
Okay, so how do they work that bet out?
That Jacob jumped in.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't actually get to fight them.
Right, that's
I
what I
feel
mean.
like that. I feel like it bugs him to this day because he was prepped up. He was ready. He was in his prime, and he was fucking coked as all hell. He could have killed those 2 wolves. So and now it's kind of like a Rocky getting back into the ring thing now for him to talk about fighting wolves. But they nearly kill each other at the same time, like a double KO, Ryu and Ken style.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of the wolves is still alive, and it's the one we didn't bet on.
Okay.
So we lose.
Of course it would be.
I know. We lose our 5 grand, and then we lose Gene Wilder's 10 grand.
Because Jacob didn't get to fight.
Jacob didn't get to fight. Yeah, so he lost 2.
I mean, makes
And then
sense.
the dog that we bet on also lost.
That's the night you made an enemy of Gene
Gene
Wilder
Wilder.
in Des Moines.
Yeah. So he's talking to us about he comes over. He's super disappointed. He says, "I guess we can work something out." And we're scared at this point.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Just come with me." And he has all these bodyguards, and they escort us out to his limo. And in his limousine, he has more coke, and he offers it to us. So we do. I mean, we're gonna do Gene Wilder's coke. So we
Naturally.
do. Yeah.
Naturally.
So we do that, and then we're drinking on top of it in this van. And the last thing I remember is like he's sitting between Jacob and I, and he's saying like something about us being able to that he worked something out with us. At about that time, like I black out. I have no idea. But the next thing I know, I wake up and we're at the Paducah Port Authority.
Does Jacob remember what happened?
I've talked to him about it, and he said, like, you blacked out, and then Gene and I kept talking, and I did one more line, and I blacked out. So he claims he doesn't even know either. So we don't know. We can only assume we passed some sort of chocolate factory test from Gene Wilder, and he dropped us off in Paducah.
Well, it's historical fact that you don't remember chocolate factory tests. So that's probably
makes sense.
it. I don't know if you've looked into it, but I have.
It's after losing like that much of your memory is just scary.
Yeah.
And like that's when Jacob quit. Jacob's like, I don't even know what happened. We got lucky. I'm not going to press my luck anymore.
Yeah.
Now I'm lawful. I'm not going to be a betting man. I'm done. And of course, I was upset. But I kept on for a few more years before like he was pressuring me. He's like, hey, come on, let's just hang out. Let's play Nintendo. Like eventually he pulled me back out of it and sort of got me into video games because you can't just really get rid of an addiction. You have to replace it with something else less destructive. So that's what got me that's what got him about his wolves and got me into video games.
Jesus, man.
I feel better having talked about it.
You never told me that before.
I know. I feel better having talked. I don't think I've told anybody outside of Jacob and I didn't really talk about it.
How was the concert?
Amazing.
Okay. Good.
I mean, Huey never does a bad concert, like period. So, and I mean, really, don't take me at this literally, but
don't worry.
I really believe that the character of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho was based off of Jacob.
Yeah.
Because of how good looking in the Coke and what a big fan of Huey Lewis he was back in the day.
But mainly good looking.
I mean, Jacob couldn't prove anything to sue the people who made the movie, but we pretty much know.
He needs royalties.
Yeah. I mean, it may have been Gene telling people. I don't know.
Jeez. I did not come prepared to really deal with this story.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know. I feel like the foundation that we've built this podcast upon is crumbling beneath my feet.
Well, it's the video games. I'm here because of cocaine.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't believe you would hide my podcast wife would hide something like this from me for so many years.
It was a different time. The past doesn't matter.
This is exactly why I never ask.
You don't ask.
Any girlfriend. Have you
blown Gene Wilder? Yeah. You don't ask. You don't really.
Well, you
want to know and you don't want to know.
Even you don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know the answer to that question.
I mean, I could tell you what the chocolate factory
My mouth
test
tastes
is.
like gobstoppers, but that could have been for any reason.
What's up, Internet? I'm Dave. I'm your bespectacled host. And I guess since we're just talking about our sordid past, before the show, I was asking Tyler why there were so many porn videos from the Czech Republic. They're all like listed as Czech girls or Czech taxi. There must be like no regulation on
that would make sense
on the industry there. I'm surprised. I would think there's no regulation on it here based on some of the things I've seen.
Well, I know in like California, like the regulation is that any porn film in California you have to wear a condom.
I heard about that.
Yeah. Kind of ruins it for me. I need it to be. I don't like. No condom. No, thank you.
I agree. It's a fantasy, right?
Mm-hmm. So in your fantasy, are you wearing a condom? No.
Never.
You're not because you're fine. There's nothing bad that can happen.
Unless that's your thing. That's I guarantee you that's somebody's thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the body condoms exist. So that's proof that is somebody's thing.
Yeah.
What is a body condom, by the way? It's just a giant condom you crawl up inside.
I guess so. I know there's also that latex fetish where people are sucked into that latex, or they're covered with not corn syrup, cornstarch first, and then like sucked in like this tight balloon type.
Don't worry, I remember that Real Sex from 1996. I saw that as well.
Man, Real Sex went on for a really long time too,
really?
Like up until like sometime in the 2000s, like early 90s to late 2000s.
Do you remember Dream On?
That's my first memory of like boobs on TV.
Yeah,
Dream On.
Mine too. We were destined to do this.
So for years, I'd always talk about, man, I love Dream On. I have no idea what Dream On was about. Just that I know if I sat there through it, I could probably see boobs.
That had Nina Van Horn in it, didn't it?
I don't know. I have no idea. I can picture the main character in pajamas and a robe, and that's it.
I remember watching that as a kid. And of course, I wasn't supposed to be watching it, but I remember there was a scene where I guess the main character had like a son, right? I'm pretty sure he had a son.
I don't know.
And like his plan was he wanted to have sex with this girl. So they were in a room together and the girl left for a moment And while she was gone, he got naked, got hard, and put a condom on. And she came back in the room, and that was it. That was his plan. She was going to see that, get aroused, and then we're going to have sex. And I remember...
Okay, so they stole... That's a plot from How I Met Your Mother, the naked man. The naked man. So naked man is stolen from Dream On.
But I never told you this. I actually got my start. My roots in the entertainment industry, Tyler, is not in podcasting. I had a few podcasts before this that didn't go well. Crusty Sock Pockets, that didn't go well.
That's a good title. I like that.
I thought so. We got about 8 in, and
yeah, you did.
And then we just ran out of different kinds of socks. I mean, how many are there? There's the white socks, and then there's
Tube Argyle.
The kind with the gray soles. There's the socks that Josh likes.
Do pantyhose count?
Man, we didn't even think about that. That could have been a whole spinoff.
Yeah.
And then of course, for a couple years, I did the Mary Tyler Moore podcast review.
Oh, is that still? I'd like to listen to that if that's still.
Couldn't afford the hosting anymore.
Oh,
so fuck. Unfortunately, and honestly, we got a cease
I'd
and
wondered
desist.
where your encyclopedic knowledge of Mary Tyler Moore really came from.
I had to do a lot of research for that because a lot of my Mary Tyler Moore knowledge was all Dick Van Dyke Show based. And I never really branched out so much into the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I mean, it was color. She was definitely not as pretty.
She was not. There's something about black and white Laura Petrie that just fucking defies reality.
Yeah.
She is like, man, she is fucking hot. I can't even explain it. Like, people will go on about like old pinup models and stuff like that, how they can't be touched. But I don't know. For my money, Laura Petrie is like it.
She's near the top from classic TV.
Yeah.
Samantha from Bewitched. She
has to be black and white too.
Yeah, absolutely has to be black and white.
I don't know if does it cover up imperfections because it's black and white, or just because they're older when color came along.
I think it's probably that. Yeah, I think it's that we just like we prefer our women black and white and young.
Black and white, youthful is all we prefer.
So
BWY is what our fetish.
That
is
our fetish. Yes. I hear that. Have you heard that Playboy offered Mary Tyler Moore a centerfold?
No,
and she turned it down. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that. I don't know if that's true. I mean, but of course, I'm an expert on Mary Tyler Moore, so I mean, take it as my word. But I actually used to be a Czechoslovakian porn star.
I want to say, like you said, that I surprised you. I want to say that I'm surprised in that about that.
No,
but
I don't think anyone listening is.
I've heard you make love before, and it does not surprise me that you used to do that.
Yeah, I also speak in tongues a lot, and it can be confused. European pornography and a Southern Baptist reunion.
Okay, all right.
I mean, they can really be confused if you take the smell out of it. If you take one of the senses out, well, it may be the sight. Just close your eyes too and don't smell anything. They really can be confused. So I get it. It was a show called. It was really groundbreaking, and I actually feel good that I can talk about it because now I can finally take credit. Reality porn is like a really big thing now, like a really big thing. But I feel like had the first reality porn. It was called Pump and Dump.
About breastfeeding?
No, it wasn't. See, I hear that term now.
Maybe that was okay. That's like the disconnect. Maybe
I don't think it came
people
from
thought
this.
It was one thing and then saw it was another.
Maybe.
Okay.
We rented a gas station in Czechoslovakia, where I lived, of course, with my original family. And what we did was someone would pretend to be the car, and they would drive up, and then the other person would pretend to be the gas pump. And the gas would be pumped. And that was pretty much it.
That would be a clever way to cover up prostitution as well. because you pay at the pump, car pulls up, gas station pump, give the money, they drive on. Like I don't know, that's pretty felt. I don't know if Tadpog goes south, we can think about doing that here.
Prostitution was not really an issue. It was pretty. When I was doing it, it was pretty.
It wouldn't be illegal, would it?
It was pretty much the same thing.
Fucking puritanical America.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same thing. That's where I learned to bump rails. I didn't do nearly as much as you and Jacob.
Yeah. Oh God. Ugh, I'm surprised we don't have like those bat wing veiny nostrils from the amount of coke that we did. But
strangely enough, though, I think this proves that you and I belong together. The thing that ties us together, first and foremost, is that I actually met Gene Wilder on set.
Okay, good. That makes sense. All right. It's not video games that bond us. It's Gene Wilder.
It is depravity that we wallow in together.
Because I'd heard, allegedly, he had rebuilt the entire set of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and he just used it for parties. I never got to go. This was after my experience with Gene Wilder that he did something like this. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I guess the breakdown of the USSR and Czechoslovakia breaking down into two different countries just left you with no other course but to come here?
Yeah, and start podcasting, which, of course, I did the sock thing and then the Mary Tyler Moore thing, and then now I'm here.
So that explains, people talk about, like, I still have a country accent, but how you don't.
Right.
So you didn't have a country accent to start with, so when you came over here, it was just phasing out the Czech accent.
Yeah, but if you listen really close, you'll hear it.
Yeah,
you'll still hear it. But you do have to listen really close. And it's one of those things where, like, if I don't point it out, it's pretty non-noticeable. But now that I have pointed it out, I'm sure.
Now that I think about it, like, I feel when you get flustered, I guess I can hear it the most.
Yeah.
So if people go back and listen to Tyler and Dave Fail at Maths when you were the most flustered, that's where they can probably pick it out.
You're probably right.
So people should go back and listen to that episode.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, Tim.
Oh, you ready for the big reveal?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a good story, though. Thank you for sharing.
No, thank you.
This is a good cathartic.
Yeah,
I feel closer to you after
I was
recording this.
Not prepared to tell that story at all, and then
I
you
didn't think you would
surprised me. So I felt like I needed to at least share as much as you did.
Mm-hmm. Good. All right. I feel good. I feel like this is a good balance. Mm-hmm. Everything is right in the world again. Mm-hmm. All right, Tadpog Nation. We took suggestions, emails, Facebook messages, everything about what to do. So we weighed. A lot of people wanted us to do Genesis. A lot of people wanted us to do Jaguar. Mm-hmm. And I felt like really almost all of the suggestions were about older games.
Right.
So really it feels like, I guess the numbers kind of reflect that too. We talk about modern games. We don't do as well as if we talk about retro games.
Well, and it's in our title, old games. I mean, so that makes sense.
So what we're doing is we're reaching way back, because I want to say this was up there with requests. It wasn't the most requested one, but we had to balance what we think we could do and what would be quality.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people are doing it, this list, but it really is like, I guess it sort of suffers from the same fault, like people nowadays don't find Seinfeld funny. Right. Because so many shows now
have stolen from
Seinfeld. So if you go back and watch Seinfeld, it seems trite.
Seinfeld's a lot like the Czech Republic, if you think about it.
Yeah, I agree. So is our next. All right, so our next list is the sort of the original that started a lot of different things. So we're doing the top 100 Action Max games.
We thought about a lot of different things. We took all of your suggestions and pretty much just threw them away. Because we felt like we had a better idea. I mean, who's doing a show on Action Max games? No one. Who's doing shows on Nintendo games? Well, a few people are.
But if you dig deep and look into like
games,
people who review like what they think their favorite games are and they'll talk about Action Max games. I mean, they're heralded as being like started a lot of shit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And we talked about doing Virtual Boy. We talked about doing the Nokia N-Gage. Mm-hmm. The Tiger Electronics R-Zone was an option. But honestly, I think we made the right decision, and the best of that is the Action Max.
I guess I want to take a moment and go ahead and thank, because I brought it up on a lark when we were hanging out with some friends, and 3 dedicated fans came together and like, this is a great idea. We think you should do this, and they bought us an Action Max for us to play on.
Thank you.
So I want to thank Brainy Gatsby, Good Time Gatsby, and Pretty Gatsby for all, because they dedicated to listen to the show. They love it. They love the stories we tell about them. We'll have them on the show as soon as we can work out their scheduling. But they all pitched in and bought us an Action Max, and they are not cheap.
No, they're
you
not.
Look them up on eBay. They are not cheap.
Not at all. Especially if you get all the games.
Yeah,
with it.
I mean, because it's the games are hard to come by, and I mean, buying 100 games, but it was great. It was great that they did that for us, and that we have a fabled piece of gaming history sitting in the annex.
If you don't mind, I'd like to set the tone for the next 100 episodes. And we do have a lot of listeners who aren't gamers and might not be familiar with the console. God forbid. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to do a little Dave read some Wikipedia
Please.
For the console itself. Please. Okay, guys. Action Max is a home video game console using VHS tapes for games. It was created in 1987 by Worlds of Wonder. The system required its owner to have a VCR, as the console did not have a way to play tapes itself. Using a light gun or 2 for 2-player games.
Early. Fucking brilliant.
Players would shoot at the screen. The gaming was strictly point-based and dependent on shot accuracy. Players cannot truly lose or win a game. So it's a lot like interactive fiction.
It's like life, really.
Yeah, or the Stanley Parable.
Yeah. So you could really say the Stanley Parable really stole... I've got a list compiled of what games have stolen things from the Action Max, but really...
All the Telltale games?
Really.
They owe Action Max a lot. This, along with the fact that the only real genre on the system were light gun games that played exactly the same way every time, greatly limited the system's appeal and led to its quick downfall.
Well, every game now is like, first-person shooters, like the biggest games in the world now. I feel like really, if anything, the Action Max was too ahead of its time, because really it would have, if it came out now, it would dominate. But they tried to get in early because Worlds of Wonder was, they were just too ahead of their, like Tesla, they were just too ahead of their time.
Well, they could distribute online.
Yeah.
I mean, they could completely take advantage of YouTube. You got to figure out how the light guns are going to work on new televisions.
Yeah.
That was our biggest obstacle in playing this game we're going to talk about today, was that we had to find an old TV.
Yeah, I had to find like the CRT TV with the concave screen and
a VCR. That was a little troublesome too.
All right. Well, the game that we're going to talk about is one of the most prolific games on the system. And I've got a list of everything that basically stole from this game: The Rescue of Pops Ghostly. People may not be familiar with it. The first link in the show notes will be of a video of I don't know how many hours this guy put into the game, but it is a flawless speed through of The Rescue of Pops Ghostly. So if you don't know what we're talking about, stop the episode now, go to the show notes, watch this video. He's able to finish it in about like 21 minutes.
Something like that,
it's fucking unreal what he does.
Someone should really do Pops Ghostly for Games Done Quick.
You're right.
I think that would be pretty good.
But do you have an entry over Pops Ghostly?
There surprisingly isn't a whole lot on Pops Ghostly on Wikipedia. What I can tell you is there is a sentence that says the rescue of Pops Ghostly is a comic haunted house adventure.
I mean, they're right.
So that's Pops Ghostly.
All right, because really, in The Rescue of Pops Ghostly, because before I set it up, I need to explain to you, like, this has been broken down. Everything about Pops Ghostly has been broken down and used in more modern games. So really, all right.
Well, this is, I know I'm totally trampling on what you're about to say.
It's okay. It's all right.
I want to say it first.
Okay. That's good. Go
Because
ahead.
it's in my notes.
Go ahead.
And I know I want to beat you to the punch.
Okay.
Because you totally outshined me in the intro story. This game is the first survival horror game. It is
100%.
It is
100%.
The resource that you run out of is the muscles in your finger.
Yeah.
Because you are shooting a lot of goddamn ghosts
for your fucking life. Yeah. Because really, okay, the first example I thought of when I was playing through it, I was like, clearly Doom stole everything from Pop's Ghostly.
Everything.
Because there's really, Pop's Ghostly was like the first time I'd experienced like a portal to hell in space. So clearly, and the shooter element, like Doom was stolen from Pop's Ghostly. The plot of Ghostbusters was clearly stolen from Pop's Ghostly.
Yeah, I don't know which came out first. It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
You said survival horror because
Yeah.
the way you're in this house trying to survive, like Resident Evil is clearly the same house that is in Pop's Ghostly.
Well, see,
It is located. It would not surprise me if I looked into Pop's Ghostly and they said Raccoon City.
okay, so clearly you like this game
Yeah, I like this game.
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, but it definitely, you have to admit that it has some problems.
Well, every game has problems.
Yeah, but like this game has some. I'm a little worried that we're starting the list out with
Too
the
strong?
rescue of Pop's Ghost. No,
Should have done 38
38 Alley.
Yeah, 38 caliber alley. Yeah,
Maybe it
or
could have
Hydro
been.
Sub 2024.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done that, but like, I think what you need to really think about, Tyler, is I know that narrative in games wasn't a really big thing in the 80s. Mm-hmm. But this game tries. This game tries to have a story, and I feel like with it being on a VHS cassette tape, that it really could succeed and tell a story. But there's a big plot hole. The game opens up with a dog named Arthur, and he runs into a house, and then lights strobe like thunder.
And two kids following him. Yeah.
Yeah, two kids run after Arthur into the house. Mm-hmm. And it kind of makes me think, all right, I'm invested. Here's two kids wearing very short shorts like I am. So clearly I can connect with these characters. And
I like to think that you're a UPS worker and you're delivering a package and you see this dog and the kids running to the house and you're worried about them. Maybe you're a Schwann's delivery man. That also makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so probably either a UPS or a Schwann's delivery man.
but you're definitely wearing shorts.
Definitely.
And you follow the kids into the house, and then you're greeted. You're greeted by the real residents of the house, the Ghostly family.
Have you ever had Schwann's chicken strips?
No,
Real quick, best chicken strips you'll ever have. But just because I was thinking about it, because I don't like those like crumply looking chicken strips. I like
do you mean?
smooth kind of breaded chicken strips. They just have like the
okay.
bumps all over them.
You like the chicken strips that look like they're fish.
Yeah.
Like it's catfish
Like the
or
nice smooth breaded chicken strips
Yeah.
that Schwann's have that are fucking amazing. But I'm sorry, I trampled over you.
No, it's okay. Is Schwann still around?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
I miss being little and having the Schwann's truck drive up and getting push pops and ice cream sandwiches. Cocaine.
Yeah.
Man, why didn't I? Man, I would have had so much more money to invest in a TADPOG had I become a Schwann's delivery driver that also sold cocaine.
So these kids go in the house, and then they pretty much don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
They pretty much just do not matter anymore.
Well, you have to assume they're dead.
Well, you see them a few times, like running from ghosts. Like at one point, they're running around a dining room table, and ghosts are chasing them. But they really the narrative really shifts the moment you get into the house because you're greeted by Pop's Ghostly, and I assume his wife and his child. Nothing's really spelled out, but he is definitely Pop's Ghostly, and he informs you that they live there and that warped evil spirits have taken over their house. And they need you to help them, and they'll do what they can to aid you. Please don't shoot them. Please don't shoot
But
them.
this game, all right, because I had to pause a few points playing this game because it is fucking scary, and I feel like the directors realized what they had done after they had done it because
That they'd made it too scary.
they'd made it too scary.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like they said it during the day. Because when you come up and you hear the thunder and the lightning,
Yeah.
so they said during the day. Because at night
yeah.
it would be too scary.
Yeah, you're right.
So they said it during the day. Like that's why I guess it also makes sense if you're a delivery man and the kids are playing. It has to be during the day, and it doesn't make it as scary.
It's still really dark in there.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's night outside.
Because you feel like, at least I know I felt like it's daylight outside, all I have to do is make it outside and I'm safe.
Yeah, what helped me a lot is I should have told you this while we were playing, but I kind of get a little turned on when you're scared, so I didn't mention anything.
Fear boner.
Yeah,
The League. Yeah.
But what I did was the whole time I was playing it was I would chant in my head, "This is not real. This is not real. This is not real. This is not real. This is not real."
See, I had to do the Chucky Finster. I'm a big brave dog. I'm a big brave dog. I'm a big brave dog.
Right. Thank you. Well, it didn't work clearly because you were pretty scared.
I still couldn't do it.
Do you have a favorite part of the game?
I like things that are like I like Joss Whedon. I like things that are bittersweet. I don't like a like a good ending.
Right.
And while the narrative is sparse, it does have a few points where it tugs at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
Because as you're playing, trying to help the ghostly family, the son, he'll come out and he'll point out what these cobweb, just like dusty, dilapidated toys, and he'll tell you what toys were, his growing up. And clearly, he's a ghost. He can't play with them anymore.
These used to be my toys, he says.
So yeah,
they're being desecrated by.
He can't play with them, and these the evil spirits are clearly corporeal. So they've demolished their house. Yeah. So it's heartbreaking on so many different levels.
Where do you think you got the gun? Where do you think you got the gun?
I assume that's why I think maybe you're a Schwann's delivery man because everyone's trying to get that sweet Schwann chicken strips, push pops, and ice cream sandwiches.
That's why they drive around those armored vehicles.
They have armored cars and guns. Okay. Standard Schwann's delivery man.
But I thought they carried around 12-gauge shotguns and not handguns. But maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, it could just be you could be a renegade. You just
or they couldn't get the Schwann's rights, and so it's kind of like
so they have to change a little bit. Yeah. Well, you don't know you're not using a shotgun.
Do you think that we could convince, with all of our internet power that we have, that we could get Joss Whedon to reboot Pops Ghostly?
Ooh. I mean, he'd be an idiot to not, but...
It could be a sequel to...
Lord Mike, please tweet Joss Whedon to redo Pops Ghostly and get the proper rights from the Schwann's delivery service. Please. You're our go-to guy for this.
I think it'd make a great sequel to Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, it would. It makes sense.
They can go back to the cabin. I didn't see Pops Ghostly in that whole
the
scene.
cabin's there, and everything's coming around, and then the Schwann's truck pulls up, and it's the same guy from Pops Ghostly comes out, shoots people, saves the world. It writes itself, really.
And then we find Arthur at the end.
Yeah,
Arthur makes his appearance.
You found that dog. It's good.
28 years later, Arthur shows up. He's a shaman. This is Shadowrun.
You're going to have to stop because you're giving me chills thinking about that dog coming back 28 years later. That's multiply that times 7.
I know.
That's a lot of fucking dog years.
Yeah.
That dog is clearly, Arthur is insane.
He
has to, after that, become Cujo. Everything just interconnects with, Pops Ghostly is like Saint Elsewhere in that... There's sort of like that theory that
not the character, but the game.
The game can branch off into basically touching every form of media out there.
If you were to recast Pops Ghostly, who would you put in the role? Because I feel like in the game, I feel like they just had like one voice actor who was Pops Ghostly, who his first line in the game is, "I'm Pops Ghostly."
See, I like that because it gives you a strong baseline right away. Right away, you feel secure, like you know who this guy is, and he says Pops, so you feel that sort of paternal protection immediately.
And he's wearing the hat that
he's got a bowler hat on. He looks like the
dad in My Three Sons or something.
My Three Sons, or the I always think the bowler from Back to the Future 3. When Marty McFly meets his great-great-grandfather, he's wearing a bowler. And of course, he's wearing a tie. So you see him as a trustworthy authority figure right away.
Do you think that this is actually the spiritual successor to Death of a Salesman?
Oh, man, that makes me... who was the actor? Brian Dennehy. Maybe I would have to cast Brian Dennehy as Pops Ghostly.
I'm glad.
I always want to say Sean Penn for everybody, but I feel Brian Dennehy is probably the better choice.
I'm glad I had to lead you there, but I'm glad you eventually got where I wanted you to go.
I'm glad you let me make the connections by myself to agree with you as opposed to feeding it to me.
You're welcome. Do you have any ideas? Who would you cast as I assume mom's ghostly.
Zoe Deschanel.
Oh, interesting choice.
I mean, because Ma ghostly, I guess. Like
Yeah.
she had those beautiful eyes, that were even for a ghost were otherworldly. That you have to go with Zoe Deschanel.
Okay, and in the sun.
Ugh.
It's a shame we can't go back in time and get Macaulay Culkin
Macaulay Culkin
kid.
would have been good for it. What's his name from The Sixth Sense?
Haley
Joe Osment.
Yeah.
I've seen him recently in.
He was in Tusk. Did you see Tusk?
Okay.
Okay.
It was the something of Babylon. Will Ferrell's. Because he's super fat now, but he still looks like a kid. So maybe I would still have to say.
Well, he is a ghost.
Haley Joel Osment looks like a fat kid wearing his dad's suit. So I'm still gonna say Haley Joel Osment. He's got more money than we'll ever have. He's fine. Don't feel bad for Haley Joel Osment. He was in Secondhand Lions. Don't feel bad for Haley Joel Osment.
Can I cast the dog?
Yeah,
Howie Mandel.
fucking spot on.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Man, that could even be a cartoon spinoff where he uses like Bobby's voice for the dog.
Arthur's World.
Yeah. Man, I would watch that. I would let Kenna watch that.
Arthur's Kingdom.
Yeah.
Arthur's Haunted
Kenna can watch that tomorrow. Fucking Chuck says we shoot out the window. Arthur's Haunted Kingdom.
The two kids wearing shorts that run in, the boy and the girl.
They look a lot older now, and I know one of them has breast implants and they have a drug problem, but maybe what are the actresses' names? DJ and Stephanie from Full House.
Okay. Candace Cameron. And whoever Stephanie was. Who's pretty attractive now.
Yeah. I mean,
Pretty attractive now.
she was the one that has like a bad like meth problem, but
Middle child.
yeah, typical middle child.
Middle child. Middle meth child.
The MMC, as Western Kentucky calls them.
So you've talked about your favorite part, where all the evil spirits are messing with Haley Joel Osment's toys. My favorite point in the game is everything's like in this haunted house. Everything's pretty. I mean, it's pretty standard haunted house fame, and then you see this like skeleton dog. And the skeleton dog is running, and the camera follows.
I was afraid that was Arthur. Like he'd come in and immediately just gotten skinned.
Man, we don't see Arthur.
It's
again.
that dark of a game. You don't know it's not. But he still loves those kids and is trying to lead them out. So fucking another layer of depth to this game.
And the circle. You might be right because we haven't really mentioned the main mechanic of this game, and that is everything that you can shoot in the game. There's a big white circle that appears over what you can shoot. Sometimes you can't really even tell what it is because the circle is bigger than the thing.
Yeah, which lends to the survival horror element that you don't.
Yeah, it's like the Alfred Hitchcock thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to reveal the monster.
God, this game is so Hitchcockian.
Yeah.
God, especially the ending, but I don't want to spoil
let's
that
not
out
spoil
yet.
it yet.
Well, yet.
So you follow the camera's following this skeleton dog, Arthur, probably skeletal Howie Mandel, and all of a sudden, the house turns into the time tunnel from Sliders, and it pretty much turns into Tim and Eric.
So that's what I think is hell from Doom. Because I think like that same portal they unearth on Deimos is also in the attic of this house.
Okay.
So when you go up there, you're having to go through this temporary gateway to hell with only Pops as your only tether to our reality.
So, okay. All right. We just said we don't want to spoil the end, but you bring up Pops being your tether to reality. I'm not convinced that Pops is a good ghost.
I know. It fucking kills me because like I got so attached to Pops as like I wish my dad was more like Pops.
God, yeah.
Pops ghostly.
I mean, I'm sorry, Dad. I know that you're listening, but
It's just like it feels that's what's like beautiful and horrible about it. You know that
I feel
like,
guilty.
To
I feel
build
guilty.
everything up and then just to crush you at that moment.
kind of, sort of, because it's left ambiguous. I know you like your endings ambiguous.
It's like the end of Inception with the top spinning and then it wobbles.
Yeah.
And then that's like at the end, like whenever that happened, May grabbed onto me and she's like, "It fell over, didn't it? It fell over. Tell me it fell over." That's what I felt like doing, like us playing it. I just wanted to like, no, he's just joking, Dave. He has to be just joking.
because he just laughs maniacally. At the end.
Maniacally, like you've cleansed his house of all these spirits. I feel like it makes me think that all these evil spirits actually, maybe they aren't evil. They're working as protectors to keep Pops and his family trapped within this house.
That explains why you don't see the kids at the end.
Yeah. And you come in and you kill all these ghosts and you free, maybe, I imagine, just like the most powerful necromancer of all time who's been trapped inside this house. Where all of his creations over the centuries have come back to contain him within his necromantic workshop.
It is fucked up.
Yeah.
Because you go through the journey, he thanks you for freeing him, laughs maniacally.
Which is still considerate, so I still don't know what to do.
I mean, he's polite.
Bad guys, yeah, they're not, I mean, unless he's like...
Canadian?
He's Dr. Doom level at this point. Yeah, he's a Canadian Dr. Doom of necromancy. Pops ghostly.
He laughs maniacally. No kids, no dog. He's staring dead at the camera. Credits roll.
And you're in the room with the air conditioner fan.
Right.
Because it's spinning as you're shooting this ghost.
Well,
it's getting stuck
it's in
into
the
it.
attic. Yeah.
And it starts to stop. So you kill all the ghosts. The fan stops, revealing basically the doorway outside. He laughs and phases through it. He's free for whatever hell he is going to bring to Earth. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster of emotions, this game.
Can we talk? I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess it was okay. I mean, yeah. Okay. For the sake of our friendship, I'll agree with you. Mm-hmm. I still just feel like some parts were kind of flimsy. We haven't really talked about the actual ghosts in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess if I had to poke some holes at this game, that like, I guess in the spirit world there aren't a massive population of different kind of ghosts, because I feel like they wanted to try to stay realistic.
Well, let's list them. Can we list? Can we list the ghosts? Well, there's the ghostly family. Mm-hmm. So that takes out 3. There's the skeleton dog, which we talked about. Mm-hmm. There is the squishy feet.
The squishy feet, which are invincible. You can't even attack them.
Right.
Which is like, they felt sort of like another thing that Resident Evil rips off. They felt like Tyrant coming up behind you because like they're just walking around and you can't kill them.
I thought it was a Jesus metaphor.
Man, fuck. God, so this is like an 8-layer dip.
And that explains why you don't attack the feet.
Yeah.
Because I think actually the feet might be the tether.
Footprints in the sand. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pops Ghostly was carrying me the whole way.
Ooh.
There is, I guess, a monkey. I don't know. It didn't look like a monkey, but it sounded like a monkey. Mm-hmm. There was a skeleton playing piano. Mm-hmm. You also couldn't shoot him, so I don't know how skeletons were okay. I guess is we all have skeletons underneath our skin and our muscles. So, but not all of us have ghosts inside of us.
Well, not yet. I mean, our souls. We should have had Nicole. If we were going to really talk about ghosts, we should have had Nicole on for this.
I was actually going to ask you.
As a Buist, if she knows more about ectomancy and the faith of ectomancy than we do, but...
So we're just spitballing here.
Yeah.
Nicole, if we're wrong, feel free to call
Tweet everybody. If you have questions about ectomancy and
tweet Tony.
Belief in ghosts, tweet Tony and Nicole.
But mainly Tony, because I'm curious to see what he has to say.
I know Tony follows science.
I know. I want the science angle from ghosts.
Okay, all right.
And then I want Nicole's
faith side,
exactly.
Right? Okay.
And then we can decide, you and I on the mics, we can decide which way we want to go.
That sounds good. Okay. I'd like...
This might start Tadpog Civil War.
Fuck. Half of like, I don't know, who's Iron Man and who's Captain America, because we're going to be split in half with all the other followers on one side, all the other followers on the other. All I know is Josh Nance is the Hulk. That's all I know. As Nicole's husband, he could really sway it. So we'll have to like banish him immediately to like another. Well, he doesn't get to vote. He has to go somewhere else. But
fair assessment.
Oh.
There's regular ghost, and then there's scary ghost, and then there's
that face too
that looks like Chupan.
yeah, or like I don't know. To me, he sort of looked like I don't know if he's Toka or Razor from Ninja Turtles.
Oh, Razor.
Yeah. Maybe. Oh man.
I think I know you're going to disagree with me, but I did not think the puppets were done well. They're puppets. I mean, they're clearly puppets, Tyler. They're clearly filmed puppets that have been superimposed on the background of the haunted house.
Just since I brought up Iron Man earlier, I'm just thought it makes me think about when Tony Stark finds the video of his father, and his father's just like, I have these ideas, I have these things I want to do, but I'm limited by the technology of my time. So I feel like Pop's Ghostly, while amazing, is limited by the technology of the time.
Are you talking about the Pop's Ghostly Iron Man crossover?
I mean, that should be done. That makes sense to me. But I'm just saying, like, puppets, they didn't have like the great CGI effects that would be necessary. That's why this game needs to be redone. But so all they had were puppets.
So I'm putting my modern day sensibilities. I'm overlaying that on the Pop's Ghostly.
Possibly.
Too strongly, you think?
Possibly.
I mean, there's Fraggle Rock. I think Fraggle Rock looked better than this. Like, this is not a Jim Henson.
It's not
joint.
Jim Henson. Jim Henson cornered the. Yeah, I guess Worlds of Wonder probably just wanted to make their own way in the world and didn't contact Jim Henson, which they should have.
I don't think they could have afforded Jim Henson.
Yeah.
I really think that
which in a proper world, Jim Henson couldn't have afforded Worlds of Wonder.
Well, I mean, that is one way of looking at it, certainly.
If Jim Henson had half of the imagination as the people behind Worlds of Wonder, the world would be a different place.
It'd be a wonderful place.
Mr. Rogers would still be alive, probably. I'm convinced.
I think that's probably fair. I kind of wish that Action Max would have made a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood.
And Mr. Rogers also would have made a good Pop's Ghostly. Just to make you love him immediately and just make that fall from grace at the end even harder.
That would have done it.
Yeah.
That would have done it. Daniel Tiger. Daniel Tiger's a puppet.
Daniel Tiger could have been the kid. I don't know.
I feel like, Tyler, I still feel like this game, I mean, I really, really hate to disagree with you, but I think it was lacking. I think I feel like the ending was rushed. You're kind of rushed into the attic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ghost puppets, and they kind of just, I feel like the director was like, we have 15 minutes before a union lunch. What do we do? Just spin the puppets. Just spin them so fast.
Yeah.
And it'll make it seem like they're being banished from this world. It didn't. It didn't do that for me. It just felt like, to me, the Land Before Time puppets that Pizza Hut had?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude.
That answer was so. That just summed up you, I think.
Well, man, I don't know how many times you've asked me that. It makes me laugh.
It's like the first time we met, all over again.
Because I walk into Apex, you're watching a blowjob, and you just turn to me, and that's what you say. I didn't get it back then.
But that's what these puppets.
When you finger Josh's asshole, you turn to me, you're like, hey. I was like, Josh does sound like Littlefoot sometimes. I get it.
One hand's in Josh, the other hand is in Sarah.
Yeah, you've got your three horns.
Going, I found it.
That was a good night. That's when I saw your check roots come out.
It's true. I just feel like they took a bundle of these Land Before Time Pizza Hut promo puppets and just threw them in a dryer and just turned it on and filmed it.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. Really, it would have taken to really have done this game and the story right. It would have had to borrow something else from fiction. It would have had to be Andrew Ryan's The Rescue of Pop's Ghostly, because had we had that kind of money and able to abolish ethics like that, then we could have done this game right.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
What I like about them the most about Action Max games is that I feel like you could turn anything into a game. Mm-hmm. You could turn anything.
That's what Worlds of Wonder, like our world, like everything you see is a world of wonder.
It's like augmented reality. Decades before augmented reality.
They're like Sega in that way. They were just even more ahead of their time.
Way ahead of your time.
Yeah.
Because it's like you could,
I can't go to the Civil War and have like an antimatter rifle. It's gonna blow their mind and they're gonna want to kill me like I'm the devil.
Right.
I feel like that was Action Max's problem. It was too what's the term?
Real?
It was too it was I feel like Action Max in the date it came out, it was too anachronistic. It's like, yeah, It's like having iPhones in a Western. It was too ahead of its time. Yeah. Flew too close to the sun.
I think what I like the most about it is that you could take like your wedding video and make it into an Action Max game.
Yeah.
You just put those strobing circles over it.
I've got that CD over there behind you. Like, I feel like I need to give it that. I need to give the Action Max treatment.
First TADPOG game?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like we do have the technology to make that a thing.
Yeah.
Like we could make your wedding video a video game, Tyler. That is compatible with the Action Max system.
We need to do that.
But we do need to get a team
where you play coked up Gene Wilder coming to get Jacob and I out of this wedding. Man.
You do need to hire one voice actor though, just to voice everybody.
Do all the voices? Yeah.
And Howie Mandel's going to be a hard one to get.
Guy from Police Academy movies, Michael.
He's retweeted us.
Yeah.
He'll probably
do it. We've got it.
Do it.
Yeah, that's fate. That's just fate right there. Okay, you have a point about that, but you have to give me the music in this game.
No, I don't. I don't have to give you that.
Megalixer has to fucking cover the rescue of Pops Ghostly.
It was a hodgepodge.
Oh man.
The opening track sounds like a Lionel Richie karaoke B-side. I mean, it is not. I mean, that might be good. That might scratch your itch, Tyler, but it did not scratch.
Just those music as he laughs and then the credits roll, like that music. That's what I want. That boom boom. Oh man, fucking gives me chills thinking about it still.
You know what I did like? I'll give you this.
Okay.
I will give you this, and I hope you agree with me. I did like the pattern for calibration at the beginning of the video.
It's helpful. They want you, and they even say it'll improve your normal TV watching experience.
And that's another thing that's ahead of its time.
It's a level of customer service you just don't get.
You don't see that anymore.
No.
Not even in the beef industry. You see, there's this grayscale pattern where this is why it is a survival horror game. It's because every modern survival horror has that gamma check. They throw that shit up there and they're like, adjust your screen until the zombie is barely visible. But this Pops Ghostly does it first.
You're right. Okay.
And it only takes 2 full minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's worth it. It's well worth your time. It even says if it's not right, rewind the tape. It tells you can do that.
You're allowed to do that.
This is like a one-time thing. You can rewind it and you can do it again.
And that's the other thing is that most games have a point A and a point B. Pops Ghostly, if you're somewhere between those, A and B, you can fucking rewind it if you want. You want to,
and it doesn't get old. Like
at all.
I played this over and over and over again, and I feel like every time I watched it, I don't know. It's just like I saw something new, something I didn't realize before. It's like Too Many Cooks. You just every time you watch it, you notice some little thing you didn't see before.
And that is true.
And I guess we didn't really talk about the scariest part of the game. Like I had to
ending.
Pause it. Well, like the ending, that's like I feel like that's psychological, like but like the visceral part that I had to pause it and I had to pour myself like I had to drink like 3 double scotches just to like calm my nerves so I could set back down and continue to play the game. Because at one point when you're walking through the house, you see the son talks about his toys, and you turn around and look into like this little
baby
nook.
Ghost.
This nook of the room of the house, and there's a sewing machine, and it's silhouetted perfectly. It's where like I don't know, maybe you've been in the house for so long now. Maybe it is dark outside because it's like moonlight, and you see
you have been in there for a full 18 minutes at this point.
Yeah,
so there's no telling.
It could be winter. I don't know.
Solar eclipse,
but yeah, you're in there. Solar eclipse makes it so good because then it's like Pops Ghostly gets you in here during the eclipse.
That's the moment.
That's how he gets free.
That's the moment.
Fuck, but. You see the sewing machine, and so the sewing machine starts going. You see that automatic needle just going shunk, 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 shunk. And there's normally you see a ghost and you get like the light on the screen to shoot something.
Yes.
So you don't see that. You don't know what is going on because there's no light signal on the TV whatsoever.
And
you're just watching like this hypnotic shunk, 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 shunk. Shunk, and I'm like,
I was bracing myself for the jump scare.
I was anticipating like that it was going to be. I needed to count the number of times that the sewing machine needle went down, so maybe like I put it into like a door later to access a secret area.
That was also code on the Czech porn set, by the way. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
But so I'm counting it, and then I suddenly see that needle is a fucking ghost, and it just pops down and fucking rushes you. And I'm just clicking all over the place trying to shoot this ghost. Like, fuck, I came unglued. I had to stop. I had to break. I was too immersed. I couldn't go deeper, and I had to stop, take a step out of the world of wonder that is the Rescue of Pops Ghostly, get a little drunk, and then go back in.
That's what you want to do. That's what I've honestly, in all honesty, if you were to play this game, listener, do it drunk. Mm-hmm. Do it drunk. That's really
that's the best way to not like take sanity damage.
I agree.
Oh man,
I got a final thought.
Okay.
I know you normally do your beers and glasses, but before you get into that, I feel like I need it because I can, based on everything you've said, I know you're gonna have a glowing review. So I need to play Counterpart, and I want to. This is my takeaway of Pops Ghostly.
Okay.
I hope we can still be friends after this. To me, Tyler, Pops Ghostly felt like Worlds of Wonder had a black. You remember the black cassette tape with the orange label that was all haunted house sounds? Mm-hmm. It felt to me like the director had that, and he had access to the Who's the Boss set at night.
Okay.
And so he turned all the lights off, and then he played the tape.
Fuck, are they Tony and Angela? Are Pops and his wife Tony and Angela?
It could be.
Fuck.
It could be.
Okay.
And then they just threw puppets around for 20 minutes. That is what Pops Ghostly felt like to me, but it's capped at the beginning and the end of two completely different stories. I mean, both engaging, but somewhere in the middle, somewhere between that point A and point B, the story kind of, I feel like it got flip-flopped, and it was unintentional.
Yeah.
So I would recommend this game, but your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Your mileage may vary.
Well, I feel like my complaint is the same one I had about BioShock, and it's too short. Yes, it doesn't get old, but I would have loved 6 more hours.
Yeah.
And then that would have been good.
That would have been an experience.
But I guess I don't know. I can understand everything that you're saying, but I also think, like, now that I know things about you that I do, playing this game is a thoroughly American experience.
How is that?
It's just like, you know, the pristine neighborhood, and then the house, and like it just screams like the deconstruction of the American dream.
Okay.
Is it like, I feel like that's a heavy theme in The Rescue of Pops Ghostly.
I think I probably need
I don't know,
to play it
maybe you
again.
didn't get that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I usually don't pick up on things like that though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much just focused on shooting the ghosts.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and production quality.
Yeah.
Those
No, I
are my
understand.
big
I understand. They didn't have enough money to do it right.
I get it.
But I love that they tried.
Worlds of Wonder blew all of their money creating Teddy Ruxpin because they did that.
Yeah.
They did that.
They did.
The wonderful people who made Teddy Ruxpin created a video game console.
And it is everything you would expect if you hooked up Teddy Ruxpin to your VCR to be.
I always wanted a Teddy Ruxpin, Tyler, because I wanted to put, oddly enough, no joke, I wanted to put the Haunted House Halloween cassette in Teddy Ruxpin and just see what would happen. So a part of me was really scared to do that. Like, I thought that something really bad might happen, like worse than meditating.
That opens the gate to hell.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a Teddy Ruxpin, but I guess if you want to learn just a quick glimpse into what my life as a child was like, I had a Teddy Ruxpin, but it was broken.
Like, you got it broken?
I received it broken.
Oh,
it wasn't in
boy.
the box. It was it was under the Christmas tree, not in a box, not wrapped, sitting on its side, broken.
You got a Roddy Ruxpin. If it makes you feel any better, I never had one.
Yeah.
And probably because my parents knew what I would do, and they knew what that would do to the world.
Well, I can't imagine they had a lot in Czechoslovakia.
You would be surprised. Czechoslovakia invented the nanny cam.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the reason you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts on the game. Tyler, I've had a lot of fun today.
Me too. In so many different ways.
Really hashing it out. I feel like this is the most we probably disagreed on a game before. Cockmaster Ashley Shake, I'm sure, will be happy because he likes it when we really butt heads on a game. So I hope he listened. But before we close things down, I've got some important questions for you. The first of which is, if you were to give this game a beard, what kind of beard would you give it?
I thought long and hard about this. I think the only proper beard, in my opinion, is the beard of like Republican American white Jesus Christ that you see. That he's white and like the long brown hair, the lustrous beard, the blue eyes, white, fucking ripped to hell. Like he's just Jesus is hot.
What do you mean? What do you mean American Jesus? That's just Jesus, right?
I hear that it's been kind of whitewashed. Like they're like, what? Jesus is from the Middle East. He's not going to look like that. Like every picture of Jesus I've ever seen. Yeah. That's the Jesus.
No, I know what Jesus looks like. Yeah. I've seen Jesus in church.
So I guess we do have like some people in Europe that listen, and some people in Canada. So I guess I don't know if they have the same Jesus that we do.
Canadian
so I'm
Jesus.
just saying our Jesus.
Right.
Canadian Jesus may have like a hockey helmet.
He's the nemesis of Canadian Dr. Doom.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So that's what I'm just going to say, Republican white American Jesus.
The politics of Canada are based around Canadian Jesus and Canadian Dr. Doom.
Okay. I guess maybe we stole Satan from the idea of Dr. Doom. I don't know, but that's a question for Tony and Nicole to go over. There are ghostly theologians.
We've stolen a lot, Tyler. If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses would you give it?
Well, in the Bible, there is a man that Jesus heals by like rubbing, like he spits onto his hand, or maybe he gets mud, but he rubs into a blind man's eyes. And remember, the blind man opens up his eyes, he can see again. So like this game, it made me feel like I was opening my eyes to a lot of new experiences. So I have to give it.
And you've been through a lot.
Miracle eyes. I've been through a lot. I've done grams upon grams of cocaine, following Huey Lewis in the news all around the nation. But this game is blind man by Jesus' own hands that could see again. Glasses.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I got one more question for you, and that is, I want to know how much this game is on Amazon. Tyler, if you were to buy this game right now on Amazon, used, how much do you think you pay for it?
Man, I thought about this and I felt bad, like, because now I'm going to know how much the Gatsby's paid for it, to get us this. So I'm going to feel bad because I know it's going to be staggering. I'm going to go with the amount that Jacob and I initially lost in the dogfighting and say $5,000.
That seems a little high. Are you sure?
I mean, depending, like, if it's not a new copy, it's a used copy.
It's used. I don't normally help you out, but I will say that 5,000 seems a little high. We've never really talked about a game that's been $5,000.
Because I know someone's gonna play this game over and over and over again, just like over and over and over and over.
You're gonna wear that. You're gonna wear that tape out.
Wear out. There's no way there's not a used copy that isn't like barely usable. So okay, $5.
$5?
Yeah. I'm going to say a new copy is $5,000.
Okay.
A used copy is $5.
Okay. Tyler, actual retail value of the Rescue of Pop's Ghostly VHS on Amazon, used at the time of this recording, is $2. $2.
Man, that is a fucking steal.
I can tell you how much it is new.
Okay.
If you'd like, just for funsies.
$5,000.
It is $8.99. So... How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, Picasso's paintings weren't worth much until like he died, and like until the last person from Worlds of Wonder dies, it's probably not going to be appreciated in its own time.
Okay,
that's what I think. What I think.
Some people called us.
Yeah,
we haven't done calls in a while. I know we've been saving them for an all call-in show, but I mean,
I need some levity.
Yeah. Okay, first call.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Lord Mike of Purdue here. Exalted Lord Mike. Bring you this week's Would You Rather, brought to you by David Jumbo Dill Pickle Flavored Sunflower Seeds. You can taste the white trash in every bite. So here we go. Would you rather give a reach around to a well-oiled corpse of Dr. Harry Weston a la Empty Nest while Estelle Getty plays a flugelhorn to the tune of Carmina Burana and Ruba Clanahan slaps dead fish like a Jamaican conga drum? Or would you rather eat 4-month-old Greek yogurt out of Jeffrey Dahmer's body part refrigerator that has been turned off for 30 days in a hot Milwaukee summer. And by the way, the yogurt has to be eaten out of the butthole of a male grizzly bear that has had his hibernation butt plug recently removed. This is a tough one, but I'm going to go with jerking off Richard Mulligan. I feel like that's the thing to do here, hands down. It's pretty gross, but I get to meet Blanche and Sophia, and I've always been a big fan of Baroque period-inspired music, so yeah, there you go. Looking forward to hearing you guys' answers. Peace.
Exalted Lord Mike of Purdue.
Good.
Damn.
That's the best one you've ever done, Exalted Lord Mike.
Holy
Hands
shit.
down. That is so good. It blows everything you've ever done out of the water. I mean, I thought putting your shoelaces to the front hole or the back hole was good, but that's some hot or cold level would you rather. Thank you for stepping it up for us.
What do you think, Tyler?
Anything that involves empty nest and me coming, that's it. That's it.
I have to agree. I think it's pretty clear. Lord Mike, you lost me at refrigerator in a hot Milwaukee summer. Like that straight up just like killed every boner I would have had this week. So definitely, Tyler, I'm with you. Thank you for the wonderful, wonderful call. Let's see. We got another call.
Hey, guys, this is Brandon. Hey, this is Brandon. Did I say this was Brandon? You guys want to go to, like, Burning Man and listen to some Journey and buy some vinyl and wear some fur hats? I don't know. Maybe, did I say this was Brandon? It might be Jonas. It could be Brandon. You guys have any drugs? I have a huge, huge fucking dick, and I like to wear tight pants to show it. Apex forever.
Thanks, Brandon.
I mean, I knew all those things about you.
Yeah, I know.
I would like to go to Burning Man, though.
Yeah.
With your huge, huge dick. But good call, Brandon. I appreciate that.
I haven't
heard from you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Let's see. We got another call here.
Sup, dogs? It's the Cockmaster. Ashley Shake, all the way from Japan. I wanted to give you guys a call. And I wanted to give you guys a call and do a little murder, marry, sleep with. But instead of murder, marry, sleep with, I want to do it in a way that is really honorable and respectful. So I'm going to do mouth, vagina, butt. So anyway, so this time it's going to be my personal favorite, Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII, Princess Peach, or Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, dog. That game scared the shit out of me. Anyway, that's it. And so thanks, you guys. Keep it up. I really appreciate you guys, dogs. And yeah. So I'll see you later, and I'll hear this 3 years from now. Peace.
Thank you, Cockmaster.
Thank you, Cockmaster Shake.
Man, that's a good question. We've never really got, what was it? A pussy mouth butt before?
Pussy mouth butt.
Sorry, Taryn.
Anytime anybody is going to give me peach, that's what I'm all for. That's what I'm all for.
I like to hear like that when you're in a strip club. Like I imagine hearing you say, "I want some peach."
Somebody's gonna
like
give
the
me
deepest, like rumbling Southern accent possible.
Somebody's gonna give me that peach. I'm gonna get up on somebody's peach like I'm eating a piece of pie on my porch with a huge glass of sweet tea and a Dalmatian that just got off the fire truck after putting out a molasses fire.
I tried to take it back.
At this point, I'm John Coffey from...
I tried to take it back. Okay, so peach.
Peach is vagina. I would peach the vagina out of a vagina.
Okay. It's a good question, by the way.
The scary... Now, it just makes me have to think, what is scarier, a mouth or a butthole?
I feel like the answer to that question is Pretty easy. What'd you land on?
I guess I have to say a mouth is scarier.
Really?
A mouth is scarier than a butthole.
Because of
That's teeth?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Jill Valentine, I have to mouth Jill Valentine.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'd butthole Tifa Lockhart. Right into the sky.
That's the best quote.
Goes for teardrops.
That's the best Tadpog quote ever.
Would butthole Tifa Lockhart.
The obvious answer is mouth. Okay. Next caller.
Tadpog, this is Jacob of wolf fighting fame. You know, I'm a little bit down, and I wanted to give you guys a call and ask you a very serious question. I'm sure you guys know that my greatest shame in life is the fact that I have a very prominent unibrow. It's the only genetic characteristic that I inherited from my father. And, you know, I could have inherited my dad's good looks or his incredible intellect or even, you know, his amazing athletic prowess, but no. I got his unibrow, and it's been a source of shame and confusion for my whole life. And I've spent years and thousands, no, tens of thousands of dollars searching for a cure for this dreaded condition. I've tweezed and I've plucked, I've sanded and I've spackled. You know, at one point, somebody told me about this gypsy lady. They said that she could remove warts and cure chronic constipation. I went to her, asked her if there was help for me. No, the unibrow remains. So my question for you guys, and, you know, I need your help. My question is this. Should I just accept this unibrow? Should I let my brow flex and flow, maybe even try to part it? Then I would be Jacob of unibrow fame. Or should I be like John Merrick, the Elephant Man, and cover my visage with a hood? You know, I've got something around. I've got an old pillowcase that Tyler left the last time he was here. I could make a hood out of that. And that way I wouldn't scare small children. Or should I move back to Marshall County? Because, after all, unibrows are accepted and even common in Marshall County. So please help me, because I don't know what to do, and I need your input. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Welcome to the funniest part of the show, everybody. You made it. You're about an hour and 15 minutes in.
Jacob, that was the best call you have also ever made. Oh
my God, I'll say so.
Oh, I remember the days. I remember the days of Jacob heavy unibrow before anything could be done. So I have to say the best thing he can do, Jacob, what I want you to do is to just accept the unibrow, move back to Marshall County.
Definitely move back.
And then where the unibrow could grow in power and you could teach drama at Marshall County. And basically make that like start an improv theater troupe and like the symbol is the unibrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's so Jacob, please just come back home.
Please move back.
Move back home to us, Jacob. Your dad would appreciate it. Your dad would love it if you moved back home. Because I love your dad. I love your dad, and I love that that's the thing you got from him. Mm-hmm. So please come back.
Your story's out in the open. Tyler told your story earlier.
Yeah.
So you really have no reason to hide anymore. Everyone knows.
I can only imagine he sold all the rest of his blow stash to try and fix the unibrow. That would explain the tens of thousands of dollars.
You're not wrong.
I feel like that's good. I feel I'm physically and emotionally exhausted.
Yeah. No, Pop's Ghostly will do that to you.
Oh man. So much has happened in this last hour and a half, Dave. So much. Oh. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So you don't miss the next episode. I think 99 out of the next Action Max games, I believe, is 38 Caliber Alley.
38 Ambush Alley.
38 Ambush Alley, thank you. So that'll be next Wednesday, and next Monday we're going to continue on with the eventually list.
So everyone be sure to buy the Action Max consoles so you can play along with us.
So you know what's going on. And that's what Sandwich Lord Phil Hawkins likes to do. So get in touch with the Gatsbys. They're very giving. Let them know that you're friends with us, and they'll probably just send you an Action Max.
Probably. Turns out it's a lot less expensive than we initially thought.
It's true, yeah. Brandy Gatsby has a ridiculous amount of money, and she'll probably... I feel like she's the main backer, so...
She's heir to the Worlds of Wonder fortune.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. That's why she got her nickname. But what we still really need... Well, we've been... 103 is like...
Especially after this.
Especially after this. If you approve of what we're doing here, the next direction that we're taking TADPOG, please go and leave us a 5-star written iTunes reviews.
Please.
Subscription, 5 stars, and a written review are the 3 elements that really factor into being more prevalent on the biggest marketplace, which is iTunes. So you help us, we try to help you more. So if there's a game you want us to play, if you want to come on and guest host one of these Action Max episodes, we're just blanket invitation. The next time we do an Action Max episode, I'll let you know the date. Whoever walks into the annex door, as many of you as can find my house and come in, I'll let you know the time and the date. You're the guest host for the next Action Max game. That's you.
That's a pretty big
if
deal.
You leave a 5-star written iTunes review saying, this is why I'm doing that.
That's where they get you.
That's where we get them. We get them good right then. But if there's any game you want us to play or a guest host you want on an episode, leave it there. And we promise we will get to that eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about other shit on Monday, and then we're hitting the Action Max hard and fast. You're going to love it. Every episode is going to be like this. Oh my god, the whole tone of the podcast has changed. Tyler. I feel that, and I feel energized. I feel good about it.
The Action Max is like basically our phylacteries. We will live forever as long as we keep talking about it.
No more Top Gear 2. No more Super Turrican. Just straight up 38 Ambush Alley.
Hydro Sub 2024.
God, 20.
I don't want to keep going because we'll spoil more stuff for us, but
true.
Those are our previews.
We did not say those games in the order that they're in the list.
I'm
just going to go ahead and throw that out there. In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. You can find us on Facebook. We are at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. Tyler will normally make an episode post, and that's where you can let us know what you feel about the first Action Max game that we've talked about. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at @tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize, but thank you so much for everybody who is retweeting our tweets about this show and who are just tweeting at us. I really do appreciate it. I really do love seeing what everyone has to say. You can call us if you want, like the 4 wonderful, wonderful calls that we had on this episode. If you want to be like one of those cool people, please call in at 270-883-2555. You can text too if you want, but chances are I'm going to fuck it up when I read it. So take your chances.
Yeah. Our theme song
is Moves by Pops.
I wish it was by Pops Ghostly. That'd be too good. Too good.
Pretty good.
That would cost us too much.
We should start a band called Pops Ghostly.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. It's bluegrass.
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's Sycamore Drive.
That's right.
And the track to be that. Track to be that? Track to listen to that. If you want, if you're like, hey, I'll listen to that song, there'll be a track that you can find, a link for that track that you can find in the show notes. Tadpog.com.
All right. How you want to close it out?
As Pops Ghostly.
Beginning of game Pops Ghostly or end of game Pops Ghostly?
You do beginning game, I'll do end of game.
Okay.
So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn.
Oh, thank heaven you're here. I'm Pops Ghostly.